So welcome everyone. It's so nice to see you all here, and some faces we haven't seen in a while. So it's very nice to reconnect. Someone is saying that you can't hear me very well. What about now? Better? If I do this, works better, right? If I yeah
Yeah, that's better.
yeah. So let's do it like that. Um, it's a good posture for my meditation. I need to sort this out.
Just
Anyway, yeah.
check with Tracy
Yeah.
that she can hear you.
It's fine.
Okay, great. So this is our second session of this mini series of the community of practice that Sue and I are so happy to share with you. So the last session, Sue let a body scan with focusing like in kindness and appreciation of what actually works in our body, because we tend to focus on things that don't go very well or they don't go as we expect. So today, so we are like starting this mini series with the fundamentals of mindfulness, and today we're going to be exploring with breathing, with the breath, mindfulness of the breath. And I think some of you have heard of me that I've had like a long lasting strange relationship with mindfulness of breathing. At the beginning, it was very easy for me to ground myself on the breath. But then I got very much into the body sensations and not very much into the breath. And at some point, it became difficult to feel grounded on the breath. Also, because when I feel a little bit anxious, my breath tends to be more agitated. So it's more difficult for me to feel grounded. It might happen to some of you as well. But then thanks to my supervisor, Sue and I, we need to be supervised constantly to keep our accreditations going. And we have lovely supervisors, both of us. So he encouraged me to, like a year or 2 years ago, to get back to this relationship with the breath that is just like a beautiful ally. And it's working very well. So I wanted to share some of the practices or tips or approaches that we can explore when we are practicing mindfulness with the breath. So that's what we're going to do today. And I hope it's useful for you, because my dream is that all of us, we can become like autonomous. Is that a correct word? Like autonomous when we practice mindfulness. Thank you. So we can be like independently practicing moment by moment. So to begin with, just settling into a very comfortable position. However you are at the moment, just make sure that you're comfortable. Uh, Not as comfortable that you're going to fall asleep, maybe, but yes, we don't want to be in a rigid uh, posture, but in a way that you can remain alert and awake. This is more about falling awake than falling asleep. Is that's how John Kabat-Zinn says, and I loved it. It's falling awake and not falling asleep. So as best you can, just letting your body rest on the surface that is holding you at this moment. So we sometimes tend to resist gravity, to pull up our shoulders, holding muscles, tensing perhaps muscles in the face. So just seeing what is it like for you at this moment, just to give the weight of your body to gravity, to this surface that is holding you. So if your feet are flat on the floor, sensing this weight of the feet, sensing this connection, and just letting your feet be there. Let them be held by this surface. And the buttocks on the chair, checking if you can loose the buttocks, so to speak, just to relax. Softening any resistance, any tension. In that contact between the chair and the buttocks. And releasing, if possible, any tension in your shoulders. It's not like making an effort to be relaxed. That's not what we're trying to do, but seeing what happens when you bring attention to your shoulders and can give gently the weight of the shoulders and your arms to gravity. Even for me, that I'm holding this tiny microphone in my hand, I can soften a little bit my shoulder and my arm. Just exploring with the posture you have at the moment and the conditions of your body. What is it like for you to just soften? And now bringing the attention to the process of breathing. So when we make this invitation, it's quite likely that you find yourself breathing like, oh, I'm going to breathe. But actually your body has been breathing all these minutes we've been together and today, and it's been breathing for years and decades. So it's not about breathing. The invitation is to find a place in your body where you can feel or sense the movements of the breath. So for some people, it could be in the belly, noticing how the belly expands and contracts with this rhythm of the breath, this rhythm of life. Or perhaps if the belly is not very comfortable or it doesn't work as a refuge, maybe in the chest you could explore expanding, contracting, with this coming and going, coming and going. Or perhaps it's in the nostrils where you can feel the breath more vividly and comfortable. Just one more option for you to explore. And it could be the whole trunk, like nearly the whole body, in the shoulders, front and back, the whole trunk moving, like dancing, cradling, with this rhythm of the breath coming in and going out. So taking a few seconds to explore where in the body you can feel the breath more vividly, but also where it feels comfortable, like a refuge, like a place where you can come back every time the mind wanders away. Because it's natural that the mind wanders off and gets distracted by perhaps anticipation, thoughts of the future, or memories, worries. That's natural, and we're not fighting with that behavior. But where in the body you can bring the mind easily when it gets distracted, when it wanders off. And this is like an intimate exploration So you're bringing all your curiosity and also an attitude of playfulness just to explore. And it doesn't matter how many times the mind wanders off the breath, patiently, you're just bringing it back to that part of the body where you can feel the sensations of the breath most vividly. And if it's been difficult to choose a place in the body, and if you're not finding this helpful, you can go to any other anchor point in your body, your feet, seat, hands. And then perhaps if you want to continue the exploration, coming back to the breathing sensations in the body. So once you have found this place in the body, we're going to become more curious about this. And the invitation is to start exploring in more detail those sensations in that part of the body where you can feel the breath. In more detail, for example, if you're exploring with the nostrils, becoming even more curious and like zooming in closer, noticing perhaps if there's more breath coming in through the left nostril or the right nostril. With this curiosity and exploration, noticing perhaps the temperature, how it changes with each in breath and out breath. Or if you perhaps are exploring with the sensations in the belly, noticing different sensations in the belly with these movements. Perhaps when the belly expands with the in breath, there's contact with clothing or the belt or your trousers. Or perhaps if you move to the sides of the belly, you can feel more sensations there. Same in the chest. But this rhythm, moving and exploring in more detail the sensations of the breath in this part of the body. And perhaps zooming out a little bit of this area and seeing if there are other parts of the body near this area where you can feel the movements. The breath might be affecting other parts of the body. What happens when you zoom out a little bit of this area? What is it like to be in this intimate, close relationship with your breath at this moment? How does it feel in your body? Just the exploration. So playing with this zooming in and out of these sensations of the breath in the body. noticing what you discover, what arises. And now exploring the length of the inhalation. So noticing the duration, the full duration of the inhalation, and the sensations that the inhalation produces in the body, in that part of the body. And just forgetting about the exhalation, just for the practice. So focusing your attention in the length and the duration of the inhalation. And when you're breathing out, just doing nothing, just releasing. Noticing the effects of this practice, of this experiment, so to speak. So when you're inhaling, you notice the beginning of the inhalation, the middle, the end, and then relaxing. Relaxing your attention. What about bringing the focus of your attention to the exhalation and forgetting about the inhalation and just seeing what happens? Just delighting yourself in this possibility of breathing, getting closer to this good friend you have, this ally you have. And noticing with what kind of gesture, what kind of practice you feel more grounded, at ease, at peace. So we explore and we notice the effects of this practice. And now we're going to introduce another option to work with the breath, just to see what it's like to explore with these ideas or experiments. So with each in-breath, mentally repeating some words. So when you can choose your words if you want, but some ideas could be like, when I breathe in, I can repeat mentally, I know that I'm breathing in. And when you breathe out, mentally saying, I know I am breathing out. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Or you could just say a shorter version of that, breathing in when you're inhaling and breathing out when you're exhaling. And again, what happens when we introduce this practice like this with some words? Noticing the effects of every tiny change in your practice is having an effect in your body, your mind, your heart. So being aware of these effects in your body, mind, and heart. And for the last minute of this practice, seeing if it's possible to step back a little bit from the breath. Just let the breath flow naturally as it is. Stepping back a little bit and letting the breath be. With nothing to do. While I share with you a poem from Rilke, just seeing how these words arrive in your mind and heart and body. And it's called Breath. Breath, you invisible poem, pure continuous exchange with all that is, flow and counterflow, where rhythmically I come to be. Each time a wave that occurs just once in a sea, I discover I am. You, innermost of oceans. You, infinitude of space. How many far places were once within me? Some winds are like my own child. When I breathe them now, do they know me again? Air, you silken surround, completion and seed of my word. Just bringing some movements to your body. And that lovely massage in your face, perhaps, that I'm copying from Barbara. Yeah, and from Sue. So I'm going to stop the recording now, and we have 1 minute to share. I'm sorry, I went too long.